Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. Different from normal planets. This kind of space relay station does not have any buildings on the surface, and it cannot survive. Is an internal activity. The interior is also divided into many layers and countless areas. Originally thought that in such a remote place, the relay station should be sparsely populated. But when you actually walk in and take a look, you realize that there are many people here, and it is quite lively. Come here. And it's not just the captain. There are also the crew of the mechanical starship, and the crew of various types of spaceships, and those who travel with their families. There are even people who bought real estate here, got married and had children, and directly regarded this place as their home. Leave the dock and take the elevator to the real interior. Only then can I feel the prosperity and the ultimate sense of technology here. It is basically decorated in milky white tones, and the various designs are full of futuristic, sci-fi, and minimalist styles. Can't see where the light is, but it's brightly lit. Warm incandescent light illuminates the interior extremely brightly. Inside the relay station, there are self-contained life support systems and gravity support systems. It is the temperature, humidity, air, and the most realistic gravity that humans are most comfortable with. Although Zian was still wearing the old ultralight space armor at this time, he had already taken off the helmet. Being stuffy in there is not a comfortable thing. In every location here, there will be fully armed guards in heavy armor to protect everyone's safety. The relay station has its own security disposal authority, and here, its laws and regulations must also be followed. It is safe enough here, and there is no need to worry about your own safety. Just took a few glances. Zian fell in love with it. No wonder so many rich people and captains choose to live in the relay station. In fact, if he has money. Maybe also buy a property at one of the space stations you frequent. Living here is really comfortable. And it is more convenient to drive a starship to travel, or to do tasks. He decides. Make a fortune today, and spend some luxury here later. Reward yourself with something delicious. Just thinking about it, the optical brain watch vibrated. It was Qin Fuyua's communication application. Just connected. Boss, where are you now? I'm coming to find you. Zian looked at the sign and said, I'm at the entrance and exit of the 7th floor living floor. Yeah, boss, wait for me, I'll be there soon. Hee, I don't know why I suddenly feel a little nervous. It feels like I want to meet a netizen. I'm really a little nervous. Boss, big brother, do you have the same? Zian. Hang up the communication directly. Fierce woman, do you think acting cute like this will make me forget how fierce you were before? The other side. Qin Fuyua couldn't help but pucker her mouth when she saw the communication that was suddenly hung up. This man is really rude. But she suddenly nodded her chin again. She felt that this boss seemed a little cold. That's really a bit like a boss. Not to mention, I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of person this boss is who pilots a Tier 1 biological reconnaissance ship and blows up several Tier 2 and Tier 3 scout ships. Thinking about it, the pace became faster. Are you, the boss of the Radiance? Just when Zian received the money for the parts he sold, a familiar voice sounded behind him. Turning his head to look, a trace of surprise flashed in his eyes. This girl is pretty good looking. Well, Zian admitted that he was against his will. It should be said that this girl is a bit too good looking. He was about 1.72 meters tall, and he was wearing an extremely delicate armor, which perfectly set off his perfect figure. Zian also recognized the armor on her body, Cosmos Technology Group's popular series of light armor. The price is as high as 5.9 million yuan. Although it is light armor, its defensive power has even reached the level of heavy armor produced by ordinary companies. And it is also equipped with a low-power energy shield. Jet equipment can carry people a certain distance in the space environment and directly on the ground. with very high-end gas filtration, enough ultra-compressed oxygen to support half a month of breathing, high radiation resistance, blah blah blah. In short, a very good armor, comparing my own set with others' set. It's the difference between a beggar's outfit and a queen's outfit. These thoughts just flashed in his mind. Zian nodded and said, "It's me." Neither overly enthusiastic nor overly indifferent, just the normal kind, without deliberately pretending to be cold and forceful. "Wow. Boss, you are so young." Qin Fuyue covered her lips and exclaimed, "Boss, why do you look as old as me? It doesn't look like the kind that binds the starship twice." Zian frowned, and said inexplicably, "What is the second binding starship? I just woke up a few days ago, where can I bind the starship for the second time?" Hearing what Zian said, Qin Fuyue was really shocked. She asked incredulously, You just woke up a few days ago? Wait. A few days ago, the school just held a unified awakening ceremony. Hey. Boss, you are not still a high school student, are you? There is nothing to hide, Zian nodded frankly, well, senior year. Qin Fuyue was shocked. Just staring at Zian in a daze, he looked up and down with a pair of wonderful eyes, as if he couldn't imagine his own eyes. Suddenly excitedly pointing to himself, Boss, I am also a senior in high school. I am a senior high school student at Tiangong No. 1 Middle School in Tiangong City, the moon in the solar system. Immediately, without waiting for Zian to say anything, he exclaimed in shock, That's not right. Boss, you just woke up a few days ago, and your starship also evolved from a spaceship in the past few days? Hiss, your starship looks amazing, the quality should not be low. Boss, please introduce such a powerful evolutionist. Zian's heart moved, and he suddenly said, You must have seen it. Do you think I can afford an evolutionist? The brilliant number is an evolutionary plan that I created with my own hands and feet, and I evolved the whole process by myself. After saying these words, his eyes fixed on Qin Fuyue eagerly. Press eyes. It's like staring at a box of cosmic coins that are shining with gold. And Qin Fuyue. Her beautiful eyes widened in an instant. He stared at Zian dumbfounded. That expression, it was like seeing a ghost, just a few hours. Qin Fuyue felt that her previous worldview had received a huge shock. Over the years, she has considered herself a top-level talent. After all, when she was 15 years old, her biological value was at full value, and when she was 16 years old, her family directly spent money to awaken her, and she was awakened successfully. Another year or so, the starship successfully evolved to the third rank, and it also broke through to become a third-rank warrior. This talent, to be honest, not to mention far away, at least in the solar system, it is definitely one of the best. But today I met Zian. Only then did she discover what true genius is. Just woke up a few days ago. A spaceship is bound. Evolve the spaceship into a starship yourself. And it's a starship with quite powerful combat capabilities. She estimated that the quality of the brilliant number was at least green and excellent, definitely better than ordinary white, let alone inferior gray. This fully illustrates one point. This boss, not to say he is very powerful, but at least he is also a very, very talented evolver. The relationship between the evolutionist and the biological captain goes without saying. Wanting to fight here, she took a step forward excitedly and grabbed Zian's arm with her two slender hands. Her pair of deer-like almond eyes flickered and shone. Boss, let's make friends. I, Qin Fuyue, like to make friends the most. Boss, my name is Qin Fuyue. I am 17.5 years old. I am 1.73 meters tall and my bust is. Zian. This woman is a bit reckless. Subconsciously he looked under her collarbone. It seems, as she said, it has reached, see, it's really not that small. He coughed lightly and did not take his hand back, letting Qin Fuyue hold it with her two small hands. Anyway, it's not me who suffers. Needless to say, Qin Fuyue's little hands are indeed a bit comfortable. At the same time, he introduced himself. My name is Zian, from Earthlake City. Don't call me a big boss, just call me by my name. Qin Fuyue looked very happy and nodded continuously. Yeah. Zian, are you really an evolutionist? Zian shook his head and denied, although I evolved my starship, but I am not a registered evolutionist, and I have never even studied an evolutionist course in a systematic way. I just liked evolutionists since I was a child and have been studying on my own. Although I really want to fool this stupid girl who looks super rich at first glance into inviting me to evolve into Huiyue number 2 next time. But there is no need to lie to others. In fact, Zian is not fooling others. What he said was true. If Qin Fuyue's Huiyue really wants to undergo the next evolution, Zian will specially enter the system's evolution simulation to come up with a good evolution plan for her. Now, to make money. Flirting with little girls or something like that. Not shabby. Qin Fuyue suddenly realized, but her beautiful eyes became even more admiring. Then you are super powerful. I actually took an evolutionist course. But it's so difficult, just the countless parts and properties of metal materials drive me crazy. Not to mention the reasonable matching of parts, what metals or materials to add during evolution, etc. I absolutely cannot be an evolutionist. Zian smiled and saw that Qin Fuyue didn't say anything right away. In the future, Huiyue wanted to ask her to evolve or something. It seems that this girl is not really crazy. But it doesn't matter, the information has been thrown out anyway, and it depends on her luck whether she will ask herself to evolve the Huiyue for her when the time comes. He immediately hinted crazily, I have things to do later, have you helped me sell the things? Ah, yes, I'll give you the money first. Qin Fuyue smiled sheepishly, let go of Zian's arm, and operated the optical brain watch a few times. Those things were sold for a total of 117,000. And the 100,000 thank you fee I promised you earlier, I transferred a total of 220,000 to you, take a look. Hearing Qin Fuyue's words, Zian raised his optical brain watch and glanced at it. Sure enough, there was an extra balance of 220,000 in his account. Plus what I sold before. Finally, rich again. Name, Zian. Identity, Captain of the First Order Biological Reconnaissance Ship. Age, 17. Account, Earth Federation Bank. Balance, Cosmic Coin, 589,921.83, Nanocluster, 0, Address, Jiuxiao Shanghai. Looking at the balance of 580,000 to nearly 590,000, Zian smirked from the bottom of his heart. Let's not talk about anything else. Take out 201,000 yuan first, and repay all the loans you have taken out at one time. There are 388,900 yuan left. The most important thing is the increase in his wealth value. Name, Zian. Realm, First Grade Warrior. Starship, Brilliance, Blue Rare. Bioenergy, 147. Evolution value, 28. Wealth value, 69. Just right, 69 wealth points. At first it was 10.1, but now the wealth value has increased by 58.9, which happens to be 69, a sexier number. Anyway, Zian quite likes this number. Really? The fastest way to make money has to be war and killing. Right now anytime, anywhere, you can evolve the starship to the second level, and you can easily break through it yourself. It's just that the quality of the starship may not be able to be improved, and it is even impossible to improve the quality of parts. The evolution value is still too little. After delivering this courier, go to pick up the more risky mission. Zian's eyes flickered. You're fine, I have something to do later, see you next time. Zian said to Qin Fuyue. Ah? Are you leaving? Qin Fuyue obviously wanted to chat with Zian for a while, but she could only nod her head and said, okay then. Boss, we are all from the solar system, we need to talk more when we have time. Zian nodded with a smile, waved at Qin Fuyue, and walked straight to the living area. Then it was a real luxury. I spent a total of 700 yuan and ate a hot pot with stegosaurus meat. Yes, stegosaurus meat. The kind of stegosaurus of a dinosaur. In this day and age, there are countless ethnic groups. And there are as many types of animals as there are stars in the sky. The dinosaurs on the Earth are extinct, but there are always dinosaurs on some planets. Dinosaur. It has been farmed on a large scale for a long time and has become an ordinary meat on the human table. After spending some extravagance, Zian drove the Brilliant and continued to the destination. Ah. Zian? In the deserted deep sky. Zian was looking curiously at the unique double star system of the UV Ceti star system. The surprise call from the girl in the communicator made him stunned. He looked down at the star map in confusion. He can be sure that this place is several light years away from the JYZ 1881 Space Relay Station. We have arrived at the door of the UV Ceti star system. But, why did I meet this woman again? He looked around. There was no sign of the Huiyue. Zian immediately made up his mind. After returning this time, I will improve the quality of the radar, no matter what. Just a few blinks of an eye. The familiar Huiyue sailed toward the Brilliance. Qin Fuyue's voice full of surprise, and surprise continued to come from the communicator. Zian, why are you here too? Haha, I didn't expect that we meet again. Zian rubbed his face, also full of confusion. I came here to do a courier delivery task. And you? Are you too? Yeah. I came here to deliver a courier too. Haha, I didn't expect such a coincidence. Well, that's quite a coincidence. Zian didn't know what to say. In the vast starry sky, two people can meet twice in one day. All I can say is that this luck is incredible. It's fate. Since we are so destined, how about we go back together after delivering the express? Qin Fuyue asked in an expectant voice. Zian understood that Qin Fuyue wanted to be her bodyguard. He didn't refuse, and nodded. Okay, let's complete the mission first, and then we can go back to the solar system together. Yeah. Let's go then. I thought Qin Fuyue had finished speaking, but she suddenly said something else. But you really need to change your exploration radar. Oh my god, I'm so close to you, only a few 100,000 kilometers away, and you haven't noticed me yet. This is very dangerous in interstellar navigation. Zian's face was expressionless. Really? This woman is still so hateful. Doesn't he know? He also knows the importance of detecting radar. Even know the importance of starship stealth coding. If the Zuizan stealth system was high enough, even Qin Fuyue's radar wouldn't be able to detect him. He knows all this. But the key is, where is the money? Damn woman. Damn rich people. Zian was so angry that he didn't want to talk to this woman anymore. He started flying at super light speed and flew towards the private planet named Siren Star that was dotted on the star chart. Behind, Huiyue followed behind. Following the Zuizan, he flew to the left of the Zuizan, then to the right of the Zuizan, and kept playing there. It could be seen that Qin Fuyue was in a very good mood at this time. The UV Ceti star system is a star system in a binary star system. According to the vernacular, it is a solar system with two suns. The two stars are Rutan 726-8A and Rutan 726-8B. And they're all red dwarfs. Compared with yellow dwarfs like the Sun, red dwarfs are more stable and have a longer burning life. But the relative temperature is lower than the Sun. But the sight of two suns hanging in the sky is quite shocking. Siren Star, located in the middle of the two stars. From the outside, Siren Star is a desolate star similar to Mars in the 21st century. At present, it has been purchased and should be under renovation. Cosmic interstellar era. Because the number of planets is countless times more than the grains of sand in the desert. Thus, planets can also be purchased. Unless it is the kind of uninfluenced unowned area, if you occupy it, it will be yours. The galaxy in front of me is obviously within the territory of the Earth Federation and needs to be purchased. Even though Siren Star seems to be a desolate star at present, Zian is still full of envy in his heart. Private planet. I don't know when I will be able to afford a private planet. Drop.
ಅದಕ್ಕವರು ನಿನ್ನ ತುಲ್ಲು ಕೇಯುವ ತನಕ ನಿನ್ನ ಬಿಡುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀನು ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಿನ್ನ ಹಸಿಬಿಸಿ ತುಲ್ಲಿನ ರುಚಿ ತೋರಿಸು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನೋಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಮುಖಕ್ಕೆ ಆಸಿಡ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಸುಟ್ಟ ಬದನೆಕಾಯಿ ರೀತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ರಜಾ ಹಾಕಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ನಡಿ ಎನ್ನುತ್ತಾ ಹೆದರಿಸಿ ಪೋಲಿ 3 ನನ್ನ ಹೊಂಡ ಡಿಯೋ ಹತ್ತಿ ಕುಳಿತ. ಆಸಿಡ್ ಭಯದಿಂದ ಬೇರೆಯುವುದೇ ದಾರಿ ಕಾಣದೆ ನಾನು ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನನಗೆ ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲದ ಕಾರಣ 3 ದಿನ ಆಫೀಸಿಗೆ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ತಿಳಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ತುಲ್ಲು ಹರಿಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ಭಯದಿಂದ ಅವರೊಡನೆ ಹೊರಟೆ.
You are about to enter the private planet territory Siren Star. Please explain your purpose, otherwise you will be shot down. Just a short while after getting close to see Demon Star, the other party's optical brain system sent a warning to the brilliant. I accepted the express delivery mission. Zian replied. Drop. Please follow the route guidance to reach the target location. In the next second, a route guide appeared in front of him with a holographic projection. From the current point of view, the Siren Star should have just been purchased not long ago. Looking all the way down, it was all barren. There is only one at the destination. Misty grass. Zian opened his eyes wide in an instant, looking forward in shock. Ahead is a plain-like area with a building and a battleship. There is nothing surprising about the architecture. Although the building is large and luxurious, it is not enough to shock Zian. What really shocked him was the giant starship. According to visual estimation, the length of this starship is at least 1,200 meters, or even 1,300 meters. This is cruiser, Zian swallowed. Cruiser. The 5th stage of the super starship. Scout ships, frigates, assault ships, destroyers, and then cruisers. The length of the cruiser ranges from a basic length of 1,000 meters to a limit length of 1,499.9 meters. The starship in front of me is between 1,200 and 1,300 meters long, so it is definitely a cruiser. And, judging from its obvious traces of evolution, this is still a biological cruiser. So, the owner of Siren Star, the customer he delivered the goods this time. A biotic cruiser captain? The captain of the biological cruiser, Zian met. But I haven't seen the cruiser itself. At this time I witnessed the main body of the cruiser with my own eyes. The huge hull and the secondary guns were several times larger than the main guns of the bright cannon. There are also several main guns and dozens of missile launch bays. The ferocious and thick armor, Zian even suspected. Even if the cruiser was just parked here for him to fight, he might not even be able to penetrate the opponent's armor. Wow! It turned out to be the Kraken. Suddenly, Qin Fuyua's cry of surprise came from beside her ear. Zian was startled. Sea demon? Are you saying this creature cruiser is called the Kraken? Have you ever seen this starship? Zian became curious. You don't even know about the Kraken? Qin Fuyua's tone was startled. Are you from our solar system? No. Even if you are not from the solar system. Don't you know Haitang, one of the top 10 top talents in our Earth Federation? And the Siren Begonia is still a genius who came out of our solar system. She is known as the pride of our solar system. Zian scratched his head. The top 10 geniuses of the Earth Federation. He has heard of it. But I don't know who is in there. In the past, where did he have the heart to pay attention to these things? Earn money, live, learn. It is his whole world. Anyway, I heard. The top 10 geniuses of the Earth Federation are all very young. It seems that no more than 35 years old is the minimum bottom line, and then the starships must start at the assault ship level. Now seeing this cruiser-class Siren, it seems that it is indeed the case. Let's talk about this later, let's deliver the goods first. Zian didn't talk much on this issue. He was about to drive the brilliant to the designated area. Qin Fuyua's Huiyue flew down like a wild horse. Both of them parked the starship, and Zian put on the armor helmet again. Sea Demon Star has not yet established a life support system, so it is natural to wear armor and helmets. The hatch opened and the starship disembarked. But the door of the building in front suddenly opened, and an extremely tall and sexy figure walked out from inside. The distance is a little far, so I can't see the specific appearance clearly. But this figure and this temperament are enough to attract everyone's attention. At this time, Qin Fuyue was already running towards that figure like a flying butterfly. Before the person arrived, the voice arrived first, Sister Haitang. A woman named Haitang also came over with a slightly cold voice. I was quite surprised to see your starship. I didn't expect you to be a little girl in the starship that delivered the goods to me this time. Why did you come out to run the mission? Uncle Qin won't stop you? Hearing what the other party said, Qin Fuyue suddenly said dissatisfied, say more. This time, I begged my father for a long time before he agreed to me to come out and pick up a mission with the lowest risk. Oh, let's not talk about me, Sister Haitang. When did you buy a planet here? Why not go back to the solar system? Haitang said softly, recently, a starship has just evolved into a cruiser, a small place like the solar system. Driving a cruiser is not at all convenient. What's more, the solar system is too safe, and there are too few missions, so it's not bad here. If it is convenient for me to do anything, I will buy this planet. Seeing that the two girls were chatting enthusiastically over there, Zian didn't go over to interrupt. In fact, from Qin Fuyue's tone before, Zian guessed that Qin Fuyue might know the captain of the Kraken. Now it seems. Not only do you know each other, but you have a good relationship? This is also normal. Qin Fuyue's family can afford to buy her a future star, and even the armor is a set of millions of dollars. Her family is obviously not simple, and there is no doubt that she is a big shot in the solar system. Then it seems reasonable to know Haitang, one of the 10 top geniuses of the Earth Federation, who has gone out from the solar system. The two chatted for a while, before Haitang looked towards Zian. And at this time, Zian also had a clear view of the opponent's face through the glass mask of her armor helmet. Cool. This is the first impression of Begonia. She is equally beautiful in appearance, on par with Qin Fuyue. But it is different from Qin Fuyue, who is carefree and has a bit of a bad mouth. She is the kind of coldness that rejects people thousands of miles away, but it's the kind of charm that looks full of femininity. Anyway, this is an extremely feminine, but extremely cold woman. Oh, I forgot to introduce him. At this time, Qin Fuyue remembered Zian, and quickly introduced to Haitang, Sister Haitang, his name is Zian, and he is also delivering the goods to you this time. Haitang raised her eyebrows, you guys know each other? She thought that the two of them just delivered the goods at exactly the same time, and she didn't think they knew each other. Because there is no need to look at other, just look at the tattered suit on Zian's body, and even the armor that has been re-welded with gaps. The two of them don't look like people from the same world. Qin Fuyue nodded again and again, I know. Of course I do. You don't know, this time I encountered a group of small interstellar pirates on the way here, and almost died. It was Zian who happened to be passing by and saved me, otherwise I would be gone. Only then did Haitang's face change a little, his eyes instantly became extremely cold, and a strong murderous aura instantly permeated the air. Encountered interstellar pirates? I have cleaned up all the interstellar pirates from the solar system to my route. I didn't expect it to appear again? These bastards are really not afraid of death. Haitang said coldly with murderous aura, give me the address where you were attacked, and I'll go there right now, and smash them all. Qin Fuyue was stunned for a moment, I took a detour. I thought this route would be dangerous, so I just took a detour. Haitang's expression froze slightly, and she patted her forehead speechlessly, well, it's also my fault. I just emptied the pirates on this route last week, and I was busy, so I forgot to report to the Federation. Zian was also quite speechless. So, the area that was originally thought to be very dangerous is actually safer now? Qin Fuyue didn't dwell on this issue, instead she pulled Haitang and kept talking about how powerful Su Zian is. At first, Haitang listened casually. She also saw Su Zian's starship. Because no detection radar was used to scan it, the specific level of the brilliant was unknown. But come to think of it, to evolve to this level, it should be at the level of a mid-level or high-level scout ship, right? As a mid-level or even high-level scout ship, what's the point of killing a few low-level scout ships? Who knows? She felt something was wrong when she heard it. If she heard correctly, Fuyu said just now that this person's starship level seems to be only the first rank? Tier 1 biological reconnaissance ship? Then, with a Tier 1 biological reconnaissance ship, it directly killed a Tier 2 biological scout ship in the first round, then chased the remaining Tier 3 biological reconnaissance ship and the 4 low-level mechanical reconnaissance ships for a blast? Finally, self is unharmed, the enemy. All members perish? As Qin Fuyue narrated with great interest, Haitang's expression became more serious. She is the captain of the biological cruiser and a Battle King level powerhouse. Only then did he understand more deeply what it was like for Su Zian to kill several higher level scout ships with a Tier 1 biological scout ship without any injuries. Especially when the opponent is an interstellar pirate who has experienced many actual battles. Her first thought was the same as Qin Fuyue at that time. Su Zian may be a certain captain who experienced a lot of actual combat. The starship was blown up, and then bound the starship for the second time. But Qin Fuyue actually told her. Su Zian, as old as her. Still a high school senior in Earthlake City. And it was only awakened for the first time at the collective awakening ceremony of the Earth Federation a few days ago. The information contained here is completely different. Genius. Super genius. Haitang made such a judgment almost immediately. At least a super genius in Star Wars. In the case of other captains of the same age who have not experienced actual combat, they even saw the enemy's calves trembling. The comparison is immediately apparent. If what Qin Fuyue said earlier only made Haitang look at Su Zian with admiration. After all, let alone the human beings in the universe, it is just the Earth Federation, and there are countless geniuses. She admitted that Su Zian is indeed a genius. However, she has seen so many geniuses. She is a super genius in her own right. She has seen Su Zian like this a lot. There are too many humans. Genius, too much. But when Qin Fuyue said, this starship brilliant was evolved by Su Zian himself, Haitang immediately became very interested in Su Zian. Star Wars and evolution, twin geniuses? Haitang took a deep look at Su Zian, and suddenly asked, Su Zian, do you know about the special recruitment exam in 2 months? Su Zian was startled. I don't understand why Haitang suddenly asked this question. But he nodded and replied, yes, I am also going to participate. Special admissions. It is a test before the college entrance examination. In other words, it is an exam specifically for those top geniuses, just like the name of the test. This exam is different from the college entrance examination, and it is different from the ordinary college entrance examination. At that time, recruiters from various schools will be present to conduct the inspection in person. Once you find a talented candidate you like, you will be given a special recruitment quota. With the special recruitment quota, you don't need to take the college entrance examination, you can be directly admitted by the school, and you can directly enter the university of your choice, so there is another alias for the special admissions exam. The arena of geniuses. Su Zian naturally wanted to participate. Wouldn't it be more flattering to be directly recruited into the school? And it is said that the special enrollment during the school can get better treatment than ordinary students. Will be trained by the school alone. In short, there are many benefits. Seeing Su Zian's affirmative answer, the corner of Haitang's mouth curled up in a cold and charming arc, and she nodded slightly. I look forward to your performance. Then she stopped talking to Su Zian, turned her head to look at Qin Fuyue, and said softly, "Fuyue, let's rest here today? We haven't seen each other for over a year too." Just as Qin Fuyue was about to nod, she suddenly looked at Su Zian with a hint of embarrassment in her expression. Haitong's eyes narrowed, and she looked at Qin Fuyue, whose pretty face was slightly tangled, and then at Su Zian, who had been sizing up his Kraken cruiser. There was a flash of strange color in his eyes. After thinking for a while, he said to Su Zian, "Su Zian, you saved Fuyue, I should thank you properly. Like Fuyue, you also want to rest here for 2 days, right? I will arrange a separate building for you. You can live there and no one will disturb you." Qin Fuyue did not expect that Haitang would suddenly invite Su Zian to live with her. She glanced at Haitang with joy, and her pretty face turned red instantly when she saw Haitang's meaningful gaze. But he pretended not to see it and cast an expectant look at Su Zian. Su Zian was a little confused. Haitang suddenly invited him to stay too? What is this and what? He indeed saved Qin Fuyue. But didn't Qin Fuyue also give her 100,000 yuan? But it is definitely impossible to live in it. He was just getting started and there was so much to do. For example, he was ready to evolve the parts of the brilliance. Evolve to the second level, by the way. How can I have time to spend with these two women? The key is not knowing what they want to do. Could it be that he is worried about his beauty? Su Zian can't help but guard against. Unless you give money. He immediately declined without hesitation. "I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't stay here for too long. I'll have to leave after unloading. The college entrance examination is coming soon, and there are still many things to prepare for." A hint of surprise flashed in Haitong's cold eyes. She smiled when she heard this and said, "Okay, then I won't keep you anymore." Qin Fuyue next to her suddenly pouted, and her mood suddenly seemed to fall into depression. All he could say was, "Okay then, let's contact each other via communication. In addition, I will go back in a few days. Also, if you find any good missions, remember to take one with me too. Moreover, my Huiyue would also like to ask your help to see where we can continue to strengthen and improve the quality." That's right, there's more. Qin Fuyue's little mouth kept chattering away. Su Zian was convinced. With so much content, he just asked himself to help her see if Huiyuheo could continue to strengthen and improve its quality, which made him very happy. It seems that this fish is showing signs of biting the hook. Qin Yuyu, waiting for you. After unloading the cargo, he said goodbye to the two women and drove the brilliance away from here. This time he does not intend to return to Earth. He is going to the space relay station JYZ 1881. There is only one purpose in going there. Evolve the brilliant number. Anyway, everything is sold in the space relay station. Even things that are not available in the solar system are available in space relay stations. I don't worry that the evolution brilliant will be out of stock at all. Maybe the price will be about 4% to 6% higher. But Su Zian felt. I can't wait for a moment. Aligned in the direction of JYZ 1881 Space Relay Station. Activate the pulse warp propulsion engine. Space gradually distorts. The brilliant number disappeared in place in an instant, inside the space relay station of JYZ 1881. Su Zian did not immediately start the evolution of the brilliant. He intends to take a good day off. It has been almost a day since I went out today. Calculated according to Earth time, it is already night. There are also many hotels and apartment hotels in the space relay station. Find a random hotel and pay for a week. Refund more and make up less. 1 day's accommodation fee is 170 yuan, which is quite affordable. Enter the apartment. Although it's not big, it has everything you need. Moreover, hotels in the interstellar age of the universe are naturally different from hotels in the 21st century. High technology can be seen everywhere, and the interior decoration style is also that milky white, which is similar to the overall style of the space station. A big bed is next to the window, and through the window, one can see the endless galaxy outside, bright and dazzling. After a comfortable shower, I ordered a decent meal for dinner on the optical computer in the room. Then he lay on the bed and started browsing the optical brainwatch. The first is the settlement proof of task completion. A total of 8,800 yuan. Zian did a little calculation of the fuel consumption of this trip, and the final net profit was indeed about 5,500 yuan. Pure profit is pure profit, and the increase in system wealth value is still calculated according to 8,800. Now his wealth value is 69.9 points. Zian opted for a simplified display. So, my wealth value is still 69 points. After all, there is no way to increase the wealth value of the decimal point behind. Simplified display will also be selected in the future. After closing the official website of the Star Hunters Guild, Zian opened the shopping platform of the Space Relay Station, and began to purchase the parts, metals, and various materials needed for the evolution of the Brilliant. Among other things, the exploration radar must be fixed first. There are two kinds of radars installed on the Brilliant, one is a locking radar and the other is an exploration radar. The former lock local targets to assist the attack. The latter are used to explore the surrounding environment, as well as those of other starship targets. The former can be ignored, the Candy is not equipped with a missile launcher, and the function of assisting the main gun and secondary gun to lock the target. Using it is far less handy than Zian's aiming by himself. Ultra Precision Production Group's Clairvoyance Series 22nd Generation Exploration Radar. This was carefully selected by Zian, and it is currently the most suitable detection radar for the Brilliant. The price is not cheap, a full 78,000 yuan, for example, the 4 secondary guns and the 2 anti-aircraft guns add up to 18,000 yuan. The price is expensive, and the effect is certainly not bad. If it is fused with the Can-Can, and its quality is improved based on the basis of the Can-Can, Zian is confident that this detection radar will be more effective than the detection radar of the Qin Fuyue Huiyue. Zian no longer wants to be blind. With the detection radar, it is no longer blind. Zian also doesn't want to be a naked person anymore. What do you mean without clothes? That is, others can easily detect him, and even the level of the Brilliant can be detected clearly. This is absolutely not what Zian wants. Stealth devices and stealth coatings must also be arranged in this evolution. Besides, the glass in the cockpit of the Brilliant is also going to be replaced. Due to financial constraints during the first evolution, the glass of the Brilliant was only the most common composite glass. For this replacement, at least the glass that can block a few main gun shells must be purchased. The communicator, forget it, let's change it. This thing is related to my own face. Zian still wants to save face. Main guns, secondary guns, anti-aircraft guns, engines, and so on. Zian believes that there is no need to continue to improve the quality or even replace the second evolution. The rest of the money was used to buy the metals and materials needed to evolve to the second level. The improvement of starship level, in fact, the change is only a deep optimization of starship strength and other aspects. The starship as a whole has become stronger, more agile and coordinated in action, and so on. The size and volume of a starship can only be improved by evolution at the starship level. Although it is just a deep optimization, but it also requires an evolutionist to give a rigorous and detailed evolution plan. Otherwise, it may just be a wrong material, or a wrong weight calculation when a certain metal is incorporated. At least it will lead to a decline in the overall quality of the starship. Even if the level goes up, the decline in quality will greatly reduce its combat effectiveness and survivability. As a result, there are many situations where the starship after evolution is far less than before evolution. Needless to say, it will either explode here or break there, or directly turn into a pile of scrap iron. From here, it highlights the importance of an evolutionist. No, it should be said that it is the importance of a powerful evolutionist. It is very rare for a captain to choose an unknown evolutionist to evolve himself at will, even if the price is more expensive. This has led to the current phenomenon. Powerful evolvers with high levels and high success rates have become high-end beings that all captains are flocking to. Evolvers who are low-level and have no evolution experience, even those who have several evolution experiences, but whose evolution plans are ordinary and unremarkable, are almost ignored. Not to mention Zian, who didn't even pass the evolutionary assessment. This is also the reason why he has never considered that he can make money from the evolution master at present. Even that silly girl, Qin Fuyue, might not be able to be fooled into believing in herself, let alone others. Buy it after buying it. The balance that was originally rich took a big dive again. From 3 to 400,000, it became 25,000 yuan. 5,000 of them were used to rent the starship factory. Fortunately, I bought everything I needed to buy for the second evolution. And the second evolution will be another huge change in the combat power and survivability of the brilliance. The money is well spent. At this time, the rather sumptuous dinner was also served by the food delivery robot. Zian finished enjoying the food happily. Then, go to bed. Something moved in my heart. Consume 10 wealth points. Choose. Battle simulation. In actual combat simulation, I've always wanted to go in and take a look. Now, I finally have time to take a look at this battle simulation and how it is different from the two simulations of Star Wars and Evolution. Zian believed it. You won't let yourself down. Disappointment? No. Zian is not disappointed, but regrets it. I regret coming in so rashly. I regret that I rushed in so boldly without learning the various combat skills of a specialized biological warrior. The age of exploration in the universe and interstellar space. Biological starships are indeed the main theme. But bio-warriors must not ignore its huge importance. Although almost all biological captains will use starships to solve everything when they are hostile. This is indeed true. But what if your starship is destroyed? It just so happens that you were lucky enough to survive. Why wait for death? Obviously impossible. When strengthening your Star Wars abilities, you must also take into account your own strength. One's own strength is the ultimate red line for one's survival. Not only that, a truly powerful biological warrior. That is definitely a terrifying existence that reaches for the stars and the moon. For example, a warrior at the king level. That is, you can fly in the universe for a short time purely by relying on your physical body. Zian once watched a video. The content of the video is a large-scale war between the border and the insects. A super strong man of unknown realm. He didn't pilot his starship either. I don't know if his starship was destroyed or something. Anyway, straight across the void, he came to a starship of the insect race that was much larger than a cruiser at super light speed, and punched. It's really just a fist. Then he punched the insectoid starship and blew it up. That scene. It deeply shocked Zian's soul. That's when it started. Only then did Zian really pay attention to his own cultivation. Of course, no matter how much you say, that is when the starship is destroyed, or there is no starship around. When he can use starships to solve all problems, Zian will never engage in hand-to-hand combat with the opponent. The cannonballs are booming, that's what it's really like. However, Zian really regrets it now. Battle simulation is actually a battlefield. It's still a close-quarters battlefield. Coincidentally, his comrades are actually the same ones from the Star Wars simulation. Everyone holds different weapons in their hands and is fighting in a bloody battle. Opposite. It's still the same group of insectoids. The bugs and humans look very different. For example, 2 or 3 meters tall. For example, there are many hands and many feet. Anyway, in the eyes of humans, none of the insectoids look normal. The reason why they are called insectoids. First of all, what they call themselves is the insect race. Secondly, although they are called insectoids and have some characteristics of insects, their body structure is that of a human body and blood. In addition to their advanced intelligence, they are called insectoids. Not long after Zian came in, he was brutally killed by the insects. Yes. Killing. When all his own personnel were killed and he was the only one left. These insectoids actually tore his body into pieces piece by piece. Just like being executed by Ling Chi. The extreme, bone-deep, and soul-deep pain made Zian's body tremble crazily. It took a full 3 days of system simulation time before I finally recovered. The second time, Zian behaved himself. In the case of losing, he directly gave himself a knife. This time, I finally have the mind to pay attention to the teaching from the system. The teaching is as meticulous and thorough as ever. It was just a teaching session, and without any combat skills, I still learned a lot. In fact, combat skills and non-combat skills are not so important in this face-to-face life and death fight. If fighting skills are likened to a knife, then this kind of real life and death fight is what really trains people. With a knife, on the contrary, it will affect one's own training of killing skills. Only in this kind of bloody fight where you die or I die, can you truly learn the in-depth combat knowledge, and completely FORM all the blocking, dodging, attacking, and how to kill the target in the fastest way. Muscle memory. Wait until killing, blocking, and avoiding FORM a human instinct, and then pick up the knife of combat skills. At that time, no matter what you learn, it will be extremely fast, and you will be able to master it quickly. Therefore, the truly powerful skills are obtained from fighting again and again without any skills. Zian studied very seriously, very seriously. Because he really didn't want to experience the extreme pain of being tortured and killed anymore. It's really thanks to him being a human being in 2 lifetimes, and his mental power is strong enough, otherwise he only needs to experience that kind of pain once. I'm afraid it has already collapsed. Fortunately, he has a strong soul. Fortunately, he has strong willpower. Again and again. Zian. Into the killing. In the boundless killing. Death and ordinary pain can even keep his face unchanged. Avoiding being tortured and killed became his last bottom line. 1 year later. Zian can't even remember how many times he died. But from the 10th month. He never died again. Today is the last day of the year. Zian held an alloy tang saber, and his figure was like a charm, shuttling among the insects. And every time he passed an insect man, the vital parts of that insect man would be severely injured, and then he would fall to the ground and die. Zian's attack may not seem to have any beauty at all. But in any move, there is no extra movement in the slightest. It can be killed with a knife of 8 inches, and there will be no more than 1 centimeter. As long as he can avoid the opponent's attack, Zian will not hesitate to roll a donkey with no good looks. And his ultimate purpose, or the only purpose, is only one. Kill all enemies in sight. In Zian's eyes, the flashy moves are courting death. When the last worm dies, the expression on Zian's face didn't change at all. Killing more than a dozen bugmen is like doing the most insignificant thing. It's like he can't remember how many times he died. I also can't remember how many enemies I killed. The number is also countless. At first, nausea, and vomiting will also occur. Now, even the viscera and brains fell from the top of his head with the disgusting smell of blood. He is afraid that his expression will not change. 1 year period. It's finally over. Accompanied by the changes in front of the picture. Familiar and unfamiliar apartments appear in sight. Zian stared blankly at the milky white ceiling above his head for a while. Eyes closed, this time. Just less than a second. Then fell asleep. Or he fell asleep, this sleep. I slept longer and deeper than the previous 2 times. Kill and be killed. The corrosion of the mind and spirit is too serious. This time, I slept until the afternoon of the next day, before waking up leisurely. Staring at the ceiling in a daze for a while, he smiled bitterly. This battle simulation. I should go in less often in the future. if it lasts longer. I'm afraid I will turn into a madman who only wants to kill people. I scratched my scalp, got up and took a cold shower, which finally made me feel better. Soon, the optical brain watch showed that all the parts, metals and materials he purchased had been transported to the dock where the Brilliance was parked. Only then did Zian's cold heart become active and warm again. Fortunately, my heart is still warm. He didn't want to become a person without emotions and desires. That's terrible. Xing hurriedly came downstairs to the hotel and was about to go to the shipyard when he was suddenly startled. I saw unmanned medical beds running rapidly from the port to the living area. The direction I was looking at should be the hospital. On the medical bed, there were people lying covered in blood, some were unconscious, some had severed arms and legs, or some were wailing endlessly. Something happened. Zian's eyes narrowed. But seeing that none of the heavily armed guards nearby moved, standing there like sculptures, Zian felt that something happened to the space relay station. Really? Soon, Zian learned the news from passers-by who were also watching. Those interstellar pirates are so damned. I heard it wasn't interstellar pirates. It seemed like a caravan attacked by human traders. Human traders? That's even more damnable. But why did they attack the caravan? Didn't they attack specifically to attack us humans? When did they also rob the pirates' business? I heard that there seems to be a big shot in this caravan. These human traders are going after him. So that's it. Oh, these traders are really hateful and deserve to die. That means I'm just a spaceship pilot, otherwise I would drive a starship and kill them to death. Come on, don't stop bragging. There were no nutritious words behind it, so Zian stopped listening. Things were indeed as he suspected. It was not the space relay station that was attacked, but the fleet outside that was attacked and came here to recuperate. Zian shook his head and didn't look any further. His strength is weak, and he is powerless to do this kind of thing. No matter how much you learn, it will only increase your anger. It is better to evolve your starship honestly and work hard to strengthen yourself. Came to the shipyard and rented a public starship factory. There is a private starship factory here. But the price is too high, costing several thousand yuan a day. The public starship factory only costs 5,000 yuan to rent for a few days, and it is said to be public just because others can come and go at will. And it can provide 3 starships with simultaneous repair and evolution. As for the evolution of the brilliant number, will anyone come in and learn from it? Stop dreaming. Except for standard starships. Every biological starship can be said to be unique. Similarly, the evolution plan of each biological starship is also unique, and it is impossible to steal it. You copy the evolution plans of other starships and apply them to your own starship. The biggest possibility is to turn into a pile of broken copper and iron. As for whether Zian is afraid that the identity of the evolutionist will be discovered. Stop it. Zian wishes that his identity as an evolutionist would be known to more people. It's best to come to the media for interviews, and then the name of the great evolutionist will be spread throughout the universe. When the time comes, there will be endless money to make and wealth to spend. Isn't this okay? When the Brilliance and a bunch of parts, a bunch of metal and other items are transported to the starship factory. 2 starships have been parked here for maintenance. A mechanical starship and a biological starship. And they are all at the frigate level. The length of the frigate ranges from the basic 140 meters to the extreme range of 269.9 meters. The 2 ships in front of them are both about 240 meters long, several times larger than the scout ship, and they look more powerful. The biological starship is a very ordinary-looking frigate. It has evolved many times, but the original style can still be vaguely seen. It seems to be a product of a small and medium-sized starship production company. Depending on the quality, the price ranges from 700,000 to 1.9 million. There is no higher price, because the highest quality starship that company can manufacture is only excellent, not the overall excellent, only some parts are excellent, and the overall is ordinary. Zian took a few extra glances. Because both starships were severely damaged, it seemed, they should be two of the fleets that were attacked by human traders this time. Even the frigate was beaten like this. It was hard to imagine what level the enemies in this attack were. Zian sighed and didn't look any further. Started to operate his own starship. To evolve from the first level to the second level, you must first reach the limit of being promoted to the second level warrior. That is 150 bioenergy. Now he is 147 bioenergy. With a thought, 3 points of wealth were consumed, and the body shook, and a majestic power emerged in the body. Bioenergy suddenly changed from 147 to 150 full value, reaching the standard of starship evolution. No matter how much bioenergy you have at this time, it will be stored as before awakening. In addition, the evolution value has also reached 31 points. It's not about improving the quality of large batches of parts, but just about improving the quality of a small number of parts and optimizing the overall depth of the starship. After all, 18 evolution points are enough. After evolving this time, there are still 13 evolution points left. It's great for saving lives. Bioenergy has been achieved. The next step is to divide the evolution plan. This time I did not enter the evolutionary simulation to do a lot of simulations. It's because, in the last simulation, Zian had already kept in mind the plan of how these parts should evolve, and there was no need to simulate it again. What's more, the in-depth learning of that year, even if Zian is now starting from scratch to improve the quality of a small part of the parts and a small evolution of the starship, Zian is confident enough to evolve very well. There are plans. Next, just evolve. Zian soon devoted himself to the selfless evolution of the starship, and no longer paid any attention to everything outside. Naturally, he didn't notice that not long after he started to evolve the brilliance, another group of people came in outside the starship factory. Then I was attracted by the situation on Zian's side. At last. Next to the brilliant number, people. The more we gather, the more we gather. Appreciate. Shock. Marvel. It was mesmerizing to watch, seeing the brilliant number becoming more powerful step by step in his own hands. Zian felt a huge sense of accomplishment in his heart. He enjoyed this feeling very much. It's like a child who was brought up by his own hands, raised with shit and urine, and eventually grew up to become a super strong man who spanned the galaxy and suppressed the world. The detection radar has been absorbed by the original detection radar, and various superconducting materials and various rare metals have been added. The proportions are optimal. Adding various materials to the starship parts is like feeding it. What to feed and what nutrients to supplement. The food that can be fed is wrong, or too little or too much. This can lead to symptoms such as indigestion of parts, food poisoning, and even direct shock and death. Too little will make you hungry and skinny, and of course its functional effects will be greatly weakened. If it's too much, it will cause suffocation, sluggishness, or even death. These factors are the main reasons for the decline in quality and turning into scrap iron. Nothing can be wrong, nothing more, and nothing less. In addition, there are too many various metal materials in the universe. Now you can somewhat understand why evolutionists are so rare, right? It really requires too much knowledge reserve. We must also use this knowledge rationally. It is simply no less difficult than those mathematicians calculating super difficult mathematical problems. Good thing. Zian's evolution talent is quite good and he has systematic special training. It evolved step by step without any mistakes. Radars, glass, anti-detection stealth devices, etc., are all installed and evolved. I bought few things this time and had enough funds, so I directly evolved all these things to red excellent quality this time. Even Zian suspected that after the evolution this time. I am afraid that the overall quality of the brilliant how can even reach red excellence. Even if many parts are still inferior and of average quality, the overall quality cannot reach red excellence. That is definitely the most high-end blue rarity. The next evolution is when it evolves to the third-level reconnaissance ship. As long as he is still rich, he is ready to tidy up some of the less important parts inside, such as the captain's room, such as the living room, etc. Let's improve its overall quality to red excellence. Just great. Only the final invisibility coating is left. Zian breathed out a breath and nodded with satisfaction as he saw that the brilliant numbers combat effectiveness and survivability had improved a lot. The invisibility coating, the ingredients for that thing have been prepared in advance. Sanhao can directly absorb and fuse it, replacing the original coating. Well, originally there was no stealth coating at all, only the icons of the small ball and the Wuling logo. Wonderful. It's really wonderful. Just as Zian was immersed in giggling at the successful evolution of his work, an old voice suddenly sounded behind him, startling him. Suddenly turned around. Startled. At some point, there were 20 or 30 people standing behind him. There are young people, middle-aged people, and old people. Everyone looks at themselves in different ways. There is wonderment. There is admiration. There is surprise. Be curious. The person who just spoke was an old man with white beard and hair who was surrounded by stars like a moon. Zian was quite surprised. In this day and age, with the blessing of genetic medicine, ultra-high-end medical treatment, ultra-high-end life and other blessings, the average lifespan of ordinary people has exceeded 800 years, and there are even some elderly people who have exceeded 1,000 years. Not to mention biological warriors. There are many powerful beings who have lived for tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. Eternal life, it is no longer fiction. When the average age is 800 and life can break through eternal life, there are actually very few old men with white hair and beard. Most of them are images of young, middle-aged people. Don't say anything else. This old man must be very old. As for how old he is, it depends on whether the other person is a biological warrior or an ordinary person. It's definitely bigger than him anyway. Young man, are you an evolutionist? The old man stared deeply at Zian with his deep eyes, smiled and asked. Zian felt a little uncomfortable with the other person's eyes. He always felt that the other person's eyes could see through his own true identity. Fortunately, 1 year of Star Wars and 1 year of fighting, a total of 2 years of life and death fighting and training, have long forged Zian's state of mind. Hearing this, he said frankly, I am not an evolutionist and have not passed the test. I used to be self-taught, but I like the profession of evolutionist very much, and I am also planning to pass the exam for the evolutionist department of the Starfleet Academy in the Federal Imperial City. The old man's eyes suddenly flashed with shock. Even with his experience and the city, he was shocked by Zian's words. He asked incredulously, You are just preparing to take the college entrance examination now? There are other people behind the old man, one by one. Hearing Zian's words, everyone opened their mouths involuntarily and were stunned. After getting another affirmative reply from Zian, the old man suddenly took a deep breath, the smile on his face faded, and he said with a very solemn expression, Young man, let me meet you, my name is Xiaodong Lu, I haven't asked you my name yet. Xiaodong Lu? Are you Mr. Xiaodong Lu, who edited the masterpiece Some Differences and Similarities in Starship Evolution? Hearing the old man's self-introduction, Zian asked in surprise. A smile appeared on Xiaodong Lu's face. Oh? Has the young man read my book? Zian nodded repeatedly. I've seen it. I've seen it no less than 20 times. There are just a few things I don't understand. By the way, my name is Zian. I hope my son is safe, Zian. Xiaodong Lu became interested. What don't you understand? Come and talk to me. In the work, when it comes to generating energy shields, it is necessary to add flammable and explosive substances such as sodium nitrate. Zian immediately expressed his confusion, but sodium nitrate will explode when heated, attacked or impacted. Once it explodes, won't it also cause a certain amount of energy loss to the energy shield itself? So I would like to ask Mr. Xiao, what is the main purpose of adding materials such as sodium nitrate to the energy shield in the public starship factory? One old and one young had a heated discussion. The reason why I say intense. It was because the questions raised by Zian gradually became more advanced, and Mr. Xia explained them to Zian while spitting. The more he explained, the more energetic Xiao Lao became. Because he discovered Zian can be called a novice than novice on some issues. From this, it can be confirmed that Zian did not lie. His knowledge of starship evolution is all self-taught. But as long as he explains clearly, Zian can often understand and comprehend it instantly, and can even draw inferences from one instance, which makes Mr. Xia feel indescribably happy when teaching. This one is old and one is young. Then they started chatting about various evolutionary theories as if no one else was watching. The more Xiao Lao talked, the more joy and affection he looked at Zian. Genius. A true genius. This ability to understand. Even compared to the few direct disciples he taught. By the way, several of his direct disciples, now they have become famous figures in the entire Universe Federation. And it has been more than 3,000 years since he accepted any more disciples. It's just because his conditions for accepting disciples are extremely harsh. He doesn't look down on ordinary geniuses at all. But today, at this moment, he finally felt a sense of joy again. At this time, a middle-aged man suddenly stepped forward and whispered a few words in Mr. Xia's ear respectfully. After listening to Mr. Xia, the smile on his face became even wider. This middle-aged man went to investigate Zian's identity information, and it was exactly the same as what Zian told him. Xia Donglu immediately made up his mind. His expression became solemn and he said, Zian, do you want to become my registered disciple? Xia Donglu is a scholar who specializes in starship evolution. He is also a strong man who once piloted a starship to gallop on the border. His personality has always been straightforward. Now that you are thinking of taking on a disciple, just say so directly. The reason why he is a registered disciple, very simple. Although he is extremely optimistic about Zian's talent. But when he recruits a disciple, he definitely has more than just talent. It also depends on his character and character. He didn't want the disciples he taught to become traitors to the human race one day and create a formidable enemy for the human race. In addition, he also had to see if Zian was qualified to become his disciple. Only Zian became a true registered evolutionist through his own efforts. If your character and character have passed the test again, only then will he truly accept Zian as his personal disciple. Even close disciples. Zian was stunned. The group of people behind Mr. Xia were also shocked. Everyone was dumbfounded and couldn't believe their ears. Mr. Xia's status in the evolutionist circle is unquestionable. But that's why they will be shocked. You know, Mr. Xia has not accepted another disciple for 3,000 years. Even the registered disciples have never done it. For a while, the eyes of these people looking at Zian are full of envy from the soul. Jealousy is not. Because they just saw clearly how outrageous Zian's potential is, and how terrifying his talent is. They consider themselves. At Zian's age, he achieved this level by relying on self-study. Zian was stunned because the surprise came too suddenly. Surprise, ecstasy, excitement. Of course, he also knew of the lofty status of Xiao Lao in the circle of evolutionists. Therefore, it was extremely inconceivable that Mr. Xia accepted him as a registered disciple. But in the next second, Zian reacted. Without hesitation, he bowed respectfully and said, Zian pays homage to master. In this day and age, the master-student relationship is definitely not like that of ancient times, which is always kneeling down. Xia Donglu laughed suddenly. His old face seemed to be a little younger, with a rosy complexion. It can be seen that he was in a good mood. He repeatedly patted Zian on the shoulder, and laughed loudly. Okay, okay. But you are only a registered disciple now, and you have to rely on your own efforts to become a registered evolutionist, before I can truly accept you as a disciple. I only give you 3 years, 3 years. If you still can't pass the evolutionary assessment, then we don't seem to have the fate of master and apprentice. In addition, you should know that before I actually accept you, I won't provide you with any help. Of course, if you don't understand anything, you can always ask me. Yes, master. Zian didn't have any regrets. It was already a great surprise for Mr. Xia to accept him as a registered disciple. Help or something. Zian has always adhered to the principle since he was a child, that is, relying on others is worse than relying on oneself. Only by yourself can you truly learn to grow and become stronger. Otherwise, it will only become a tarsal maggot, a giant baby that will never grow up. After Zian heard what he said, his expression remained the same, without any dissatisfaction or regret. Elder Xia couldn't help but nodded. I love Zian even more from the bottom of my heart. Zian's identity information from childhood to adulthood has been thoroughly investigated by him. Therefore, I also know the identity of Zian from childhood to adulthood. He suddenly became his registered disciple, but he didn't get any benefit from him. People with bad temperament and moral character are afraid that their mentality will become unbalanced. But Zian didn't. Elder Xia is undoubtedly very happy today. Originally, he came to check on the maintenance of these starships. After all, these starships were damaged because of him, but I feel a little sorry to see them. He never thought that after coming here, he would reap such an unexpected joy. For a while, he pulled Zian, but he couldn't finish talking. People around, you look at me, I look at you. Apart from being envious, I dare not urge Mr. Xia. They are fully capable of repairing the frigate, so there is no need for Mr. Xia to do it. There are a few people who have also moved a little bit. For example, the middle-aged man who reported to Zian just now. Looking at Zian's eyes, it became very different. Zian definitely doesn't know about these. He is introducing his bright number to Mr. Xia. And the more introduced, Elder Xiao's expression became even more shocked. Until the end, the way Xiao Lao looked at Zian. It's like seeing a ghost. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.